we start the lesson, welcome. Where were you yesterday?
Yesterday
Sana?
I was,
Sorry, last week?
I was sick.
You were sick.
Yes.
And how are you doing right now?
I'm doing okay.
Doing okay?
Yes.
Glad to see you.
Thank you.
And you. Oh, here you go. Come, please. Hey, listen. You were in prison
Me?
last week.
I thought there was only 1 hour English.
Okay. But usually you have 2 hours, yeah? Can you write down your names and folder, please? Thank you. Can you write down your name and folder, please? Take your time. As you guys, we talked about the rules. What I see some cell phones on the table. Is it allowed? Do you really need your cell phone today? I don't think so. Thank you. How are you today? How are you today? You're not doing well today? No. Okay. We'll take it easy today. Everyone is comfortable. Okay, guys, let's have a look at the board, what we're going to do today. The first, a pre-writing task, and then I'll give you some explanation about the letter. We did something last week, but today we're going to continue that. And check questions in order to see if you've understood the explanation. And then I'll let you do 2 or 3 exercises. And at the end, I'll let you 2 exercises, then I'll let you write a letter. What kind of letter we're going to discuss that? I think sometimes you might wonder, why are we doing this? Sometimes when I was at the school as well, sometimes I wonder, why are we doing this? Is it useful or not? Because I said, at the end of this term, you'll have a test. Didn't I say that? At the end of this term, you'll have a test. And what I teach during the lesson, and that will be tested or evaluated at the end. At the end of your test, at the end of this term, you will be tested. So what I teach, so today we're going to focus on writing, because one of the assignments will be writing a letter, formal letter. Yeah? Okay, let's do something else before. I've got some questions. Can you read question number 1, please?
Have you ever written an application in English or anything?
Thank you very much. Question 2.
How do you write a letter of information?
Application. Thank you. Next one. Maria?
What information do you usually include in your letter of application?
Next one, please.
Do you think an application letter is formal or informal? Why?
Next one.
Can you name different parts of an application letter?
Make sure you understand all these questions. You all understand these questions? Joyce, can you tell me what application letter means? Application letter. Sometimes when you want when you want to have a new job, what do you write? Well done. So application letter means? Okay. Who has written an application letter? Doesn't matter which language. Demi?
Yes.
When did you write and why?
For a new job.
For a new job. And when did you actually write? When did you actually have to write?
Yeah, for my exam, but that was, I think, 5 years ago.
5 years ago. How did you do that?
I have no idea.
Sorry?
I have no idea.
You have no idea, but you did it at that time?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Rory, have you ever written an application letter?
I had, but it was a long time ago.
Okay. May I ask when it was?
I don't remember, it's like 2 years ago.
Okay. Do you remember what you included in that letter? And how you did it?
Why I wanted a job,
Mm-hmm.
and why you want to and why you fit in the company or something.
Anybody else? Have you ever written an application letter?
No, I never written an application.
Today you're going to write one. How about you? Yara? You've never? Okay, it's okay. How about you? You?
No, I haven't.
Never?
It's okay.
So, who can tell me how do you write an application letter? How do you write an application letter? Or what do you have to do when writing an application letter?
Next week, we'll talk about it.
But it was about formal letters, yeah? What did we talk about? Can you repeat that? Or can you remember that?
Yeah, start with the beginning.
Mm-hmm. You wanted to say something?
You write down your motivation.
Motivation letter, okay. And what do you include in your motivation letter?
Why do you want to work there?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think the company is fitting you?
Yeah, well done. Okay. Let's ask, who am I going to ask? Sana, do you think an application letter is formal or informal?
It's formal.
Okay, can you give me a reason why? Do you write an application letter to your friend?
No, no.
Who do you write to?
To the one you want to work for.
Well done. So that's why it's formal. Let's ask, Yara, is it okay to ask you a question? Can you name different parts of an application letter? How many parts does it have? Do you remember last week? No. Sorry?
No more.
Not anymore? We're going to repeat that. It's okay. Who remembers how many parts did we have? Did we talk about?
3.
3 parts. Can you name them, please?
Intro,
Mm-hmm. Intro,
middle, I don't know.
middle,
And yeah.
body. Guys, no worries. I'm going to explain that. Don't worry about that. Let's go to the next one. Sometimes when you want to write an application letter, I want to know your opinions about that. Okay. I've got a couple of things here. So my question to you is, which of these things would you include in your application letter and why? Which of these things would you include in your application letter and why? Is it okay if we first read that together? Yeah. Is it possible to read the number 1?
The reason for writing.
The reason for writing. What does it mean in Dutch? Well done. Next one, please.
Your favorite subject at school, je favoriete vakken op school.
Okay. Joel, next one, please.
Qualifications.
What does it mean, your qualifications?
Diplomas.
If you have certificates, stuff like that. Next one.
Your plans for the zomer, wat je in de zomer gaat doen.
Sorry?
Wat je in de zomer gaat doen.
Is it? Yeah. Well done. Next one.
Your personal qualities.
What does it mean?
Je kwaliteiten. Je persoonlijke.
Next one.
Present and previous jobs.
Your present and previous jobs. What does it mean in Dutch?
Ik denk waar je gewerkt hebt en wat je nu doet. Waar je nu aan het werk bent.
Well done. Wonderful. Maria, next one.
Your work experience, je werkervaring.
Well done. Next one.
Yeah. In the recent
We'll hear.
description of your experience.
Yeah. And the last one? Your family. So what I want to know now, if you want to answer, put up your hand. Okay, which of these things would you include and why? Who's going to answer? Choose one of that, yes please.
First one.
First one, the reason why you're writing.
Because the person who you write to wants to know what the motivation is or why you want to work there.
Excellent. Great example. Well done. Anything else?
Your work experience.
And what would you include that?
Yeah, it's an important part. Yeah, they would like to know who they apply for the job and what they can expect from it.
Well done. Romy, would you include your family in your application letter? Why not?
Because it's the form of them.
That's one. Fair enough. Let's go to Joyce. Would you include your description of your appearance or not? Say how you look like.
No.
And why not?
It's a formal letter and it's informal.
And that's not necessary how you look like. Usually you have your photo on your CV, so it's not necessary to say how you look like. Well done, great. Now, I'll give you a quick explanation of how we can write an application letter. First, we talk about the layout. As we talked about this last week, the first thing, suppose this is a A4 page, how you just write your application letter. The first, you write your own address here. Always your own address comes first. And then you write the date. Later I'll tell you, you can write the date in three different ways. We're going to talk about this one. And here, suppose you're applying for a company, ICT company, you write the company's name here. And here you write salutation. Because it's a formal letter, you usually start. If you know the name, you say, suppose my name, dear Mr. Admiral. If you don't know if somebody is a man or woman, then you start, dear sir or madam. You have introduction, so you need to divide it into three main paragraphs. The first one, introduction. In that introduction, you usually write where you saw the advertisement and that you're interested in the job. Where you saw the advertisement that you're interested in the job. In the main body, you write about your qualification, about your qualities, your work experience. In concluding comment, you usually write if they need additional information, or you look forward to receiving an interview or anything. You write here, then you close your letter. How you close your letter, I'm going to tell you later. And then here your signature and your name. Is it clear now? Maria, where do you write your own address? Top. Yeah. Okay. Where is the introduction and what do you write in the introduction? Lisa?
Where you saw that program
Mm-hmm.
and that you're interested.
And the job. Well done. Great. Naomi, what do you write here in the main part?
Introduction, you say how old you are and
It's not necessary to say that. In the introduction, you usually say that I saw your advertisement on the Daily Mail and I'm interested in applying for this position.
we need to say that.
Yeah. You don't have to write here how old you are. It's not necessary because usually you attach your CV as well. In your CV, you have everything there, your personal details.
Other school need to say.
They are different.
Maar nou, omdat we het verkeerd dan is sollicitatie dus te beginnen met mijn naam is.
Nee, dat deden wij niet. Dat deed eerst ook daar nog een stukje wie we waren en zo. Dus dat daar is iemand voorstellen.
Maar dat kan je in de minister doen.
And here you give information about your work experience, your good quality. Suppose you say that I've worked here, 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 and last year I did my, internship there, and these are my qualities. I'm sociable, I'm good at, at talking to people. And here usually you include all the requirements of the job. We said something about how you, because if you don't know the name, if you don't know the name to who you're writing to, then you start, dear sir or madam. Suppose I ask you to write an application letter and I don't say who to. You know the organization, but not the name. So you start with dear sir or madam. When you start with dear sir and madam, you close your application letter with yours faithfully. This is a rule in English. If you start with dear sir or madam, you cannot use here yours sincerely. Always yours faithfully. If you know the name, suppose I ask you to write an application letter, and you ask me, okay, who am I going to send that to? You say, to Mr. Admiral. What you say? Suppose, dear Mr. Smith. When you know the name, dear Mr. Smith, and then you close it with yours sincerely. Is it understood? Okay, let's ask you. If you don't know the name, how do you start your application letter?
Dear sir or madam.
Well done. And how would you close it?
Yours faithfully.
Davey, if you know the name, how would you start?
Dear Miss.
What is the name?
And the name.
And how would you close it? Yeah, if I suppose I don't know the name and I start, dear sir and madam, and I close it with yours sincerely, is it correct? What would you use instead? Well done. And also about the date. Do you see that? We can write the date in three different ways in English. You can use today only one, but there are different ways, like 1st of October, 2018, October the 1st, 2018. So different ways to, but today we'll try this one, okay, only this one. No, you don't have to write, because later I have everything for you, yeah? Okay? And how do you usually write your own address? In Dutch, we write it like this. Suppose this is my own address. But the date you write like this. And do you see that this one? In England, they write the postcode at the end. Here in Dutch, we have it in the second place. Do you see that? In the UK, it's usually at the end. Okay. It's also done. And as I said, when you start, dear sir and madam, yours faithfully. When you start with the name, yours sincerely. Okay, let's do some exercises. Here you go. Here you go. Is it okay if I ask you to write down your names at the top, because later I'll be checking that? Here you are.
Thank you.
Welcome. I think there are two, Amy. Hold on. Here you are. Here you are.
Ashmal, moet ik de hele les volgen? Oké.
Guys, I'll give you instructions what I want you, your attention to me, just 5 minutes, then I'll let you do the exercises. Exercise 1, what you need to do. Do you see here I have different places. You put like last week, okay, suppose your date. Where do you write the date? Just write it here. Don't do exercise 2. Sorry, straight read the application letter and put these headings, suppose, okay, in the paragraphs where you write the date, where you, what is the purpose of the first paragraph, and then you answer the questions in exercise 3. In exercise 4 and 5, you focus on the vocabs, what you need, and then in exercise 6, you need to write an application letter. If you have any questions, just let me know. You've got 25 to 30 minutes. Yeah, you're too fast. Come on, you're left behind. She's almost done with exercise 1. You can do really good, really well, but you're quiet. You can speak much language. You could talk to it. You could talk to it. Okay. But next time, how to speak, because you can speak really well. Did I take your book, yeah? Last week? First let me be. Otherwise I will forget that. Until exercise 5. Maria, I know you're fast, but if you finish earlier, then I'll give you something else as well, yeah? Don't worry about that. What do you have to do, please? Do you need to learn? What do you have to do? Jamie, any problem? You understand that? Yeah. Okay.